What is going on, guys? I'm Jada Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I gotta talk about Whoopi Goldberg. She basically had to check Debra Messing because Debra Messing has gotten messy on social media. She's one of these I don't like Trump, he's mean type people in Hollywood that are just literally going crazy ever since this guy got elected. You know, it's almost as if these people's ego took a hit when he got elected, even though he's basically, he's one of them. He's one of the Hollywood types. He had the show Apprentice, but be that as it may, Debra Messing and her Will and Grace co-star talked about how supporters of Trump the information needs to be put out there. And Whoopi found out about it, and they talked about it on the show, and she didn't take too kindly to that. All right. Now, this is according to the Daily Beast. Whoopi Goldberg is not impressed by actress Debra Messing's call to out the attendees of an upcoming Trump fundraiser in Beverly Hills. Please print a list of all attendees, please, the Will and Grace star tweeted at the Hollywood Reporter over the holiday weekend. The public has a right to know. It's kind of like what happened. Joaquin Castro. He's a guy whose brother was running for president. I don't know if he's still in or not. Probably not. But put out the names of people who have not only donated to him but donated to Trump as well. It's let me just say this, man. I don't understand why people have such a hard time accepting that other people just don't have the same beliefs as they do. And I just think that we are in a time where the free speech is not going to mean anything. It's just going to be words on a piece of paper, basically. It's not really going to mean anything. Because there's a side of people who don't want you to question anything they say or do. Now it says, after The View co-host Joy Behar joked during Tuesday's season premiere that instead of a blacklist, they should call it a white list, Goldberg turned serious. Listen, the last time people did this, people ended up offing themselves, Goldberg said, referring to Joseph McCarthy's Hollywood blacklist in the 1950s. This is not a good idea, okay? As Meghan McCain nodded in agreement, your idea of who you don't want to work with is your personal business. Do not encourage people to print out lists, because the next list that comes out, your name will be on, and then people will be coming after you. That's not only is very insightful, it's having self-awareness and understanding the social landscape and understanding that you may not like somebody, you may not like their beliefs, but that doesn't mean that you can try to tear them down and try to blacklist them, because the same thing can happen to you, and it may happen to you. We had something called a blacklist, and a lot of really good people were accused of stuff. She continued, nobody cared whether it was true or not. They were accused, and they lost their right to work. You don't have the right. In this country, people can vote for who they want to. That is one of the great rights of this country. I agree with that as well. I absolutely agree with that. This is just, you have Twitter, which is toxic in itself. I think Twitter went from something that was actually enjoyable to be on to something that is being weaponized to spew stupidity, to pit people against each other. Look at some of the things that trend. Like, it just shows you where the IQ of a lot of people, not only in this country, but around the world, where their IQ is going, and it just shows you where our society is going. Nobody wants to allow other people to have an opinion of their own. Everybody wants to police who everybody, it's getting crazy. I'll just say that it is getting crazy. But Whoopi Goldberg has a very good point. As the uproar over both The Hollywood fundraiser and Messing's tweets raged. President Donald Trump himself jumped into the fray, claiming in a tweet that when both he and the actress worked at NBC, she came up to him at an event and profusely thanked him, even calling me sir, and adding how times have changed. You don't have to like it, but we don't go after people because we don't like who they voted for. Goldberg added, we don't go after them that way. We can talk about issues and stuff, but we don't print out lists. That's a very good point. Very good points by Whoopi. You know, I don't agree with Whoopi on certain political things, but she's somebody who, to me, represents the women of yesteryear. Not the, you know, I mean, Joy Behar, I mean, she's as old, you know, but she reminds me of a lot of the older people in Hollywood, especially the older females in Hollywood. Now you got some who are, you know, a lost cause, like your Debra Messings, but you know, she represents that old school Democrat, like somebody who wasn't one of these crazy leftists, somebody who was liberal, but they weren't like going into war with other people with political beliefs, you know, and where we are now is that things have changed. You know, people are going extreme because they didn't get who they want into office. Speaking to Messing and her Will and Grace co-star Eric McCormick, who joined her in her call to print the list, Goldberg said, I'm sure you guys misspoke when you said that because it sounded like a good idea. Think about it, read about it. Remember what the blacklist actually meant to people and don't encourage anyone to do it. Well, I think that these people are beyond help, Whoopi. I know you see what has become of these Hollywood entertainers. You see what has become of the politics. You know, I believe that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who actually do like Trump. I think they like Trump. I think they would vote for him. I think they probably have voted for him. They support what he's trying to do, but because they're in Hollywood, they can't be openly conservative. Even though I believe a lot of their beliefs may be more liberal, I think they can support him because he is pretty much a business Democrat for the most part. And they have a lot in common with him, but they're not going to speak out publicly because they know that you have these crazy people like Debra Messing, who's putting her number on Twitter saying text her if you want to talk to her, you know, and, you know, tweeting about, retweeting someone saying that, you know, if blacks who vote for Trump have a mental illness. I mean, the fact that she would retweet that, and I think she would say, what she said, like, thank you, Alabama, because I think that's where the church was. That just shows you these people are the ones who are mentally ill. You allow this president to really drive you over the edge. And I don't think it has anything to really do with how they feel about Trump. I just think it has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, the media is pushing this narrative because they don't like who won. And you have Whoopi, who's old school, okay? She's an old school, I believe, liberal. She could be conservative. Who knows? I think a lot of these Hollywood elite are actually more conservative than they are liberal. But I just think that you have a lot of people who are trying to divide everybody, because when you divide people, you're able to control them. And that's what it's all about. It's all about controlling. It's all about being able to control how people think. It's all about controlling how people act. And that's what it seems like is going on in this particular situation. And I'm glad Whoopi checked her, and hopefully her attitude spreads out to some of these other people in entertainment. You know, I doubt it, but I think people are starting to turn the leaf. I think that people are starting to not be afraid to voice their political beliefs anymore, you know, because they realize that it's okay. There are other people who feel the way that they do. And it's very interesting how, the media will praise a celebrity who comes out of the closet, but they won't praise anybody for coming out and saying, you know what, these are my political beliefs. I'm being honest, open and honest. This is who I am. Now if you support Trump, they want you to stay in the closet. They want you to stay in the dark. Don't come out. But if you show any type of, if you fit the narrative, let's just say that, they're going to support that. They're going to push that because these people are insane. They're absolutely insane. And people like Debra Messing are the type of people, okay, who make Hollywood look dysfunctional, look crazy, and they have really just shown that they are not stable and no one should take them seriously. As a matter of fact, somebody needs to take the phone out their hands,